are supposed to be a festive and happy time, but too often the pressure of the holidays can get some people down. Add in some of this gray, rainy weather in the Northwest, and you have a recipe for depression. Joining me now is Dr. Greg Jantz, the director for the Center for Counseling and Health Resources. Thanks for being here.
Well, yes. You know, yesterday we had our shortest day, too.
Oh, that's true. You know, some people say that all of this creates the holiday blues, or,
well, there is such things as holiday blues, and we know that at least 10% of folks around our area report having a lot of those symptoms.
And is that, what kind of pressures cause this?
Well, this is a time of year, first of all, where we do have less light, and that does make a difference for some, a big difference. And maybe you feel lethargic, and maybe, I call it your irritability quotient goes up, your IQ gets higher. You get more irritable.
Right.
You probably notice maybe even food cravings. You know, you know, all those treats at work and the food that shows up. So you overindulge, and you kind of set yourself up. Most people, they exercise less. So, you know, the combination of those things, and you can kind of feel a little wintry bluish.
What are some of the symptoms? I mean, besides just feeling kind of blue, what should people watch for?
Well, you're going to probably have a disruption in your sleep, or sleep's going to feel restless or disruptive.
Which makes you feel worse the next day.
Makes you feel worse.
Right?
So, and then maybe, I had a person just describe it the other day. They said, my feet feel heavy. I just don't feel that fatigue I can't shake off. And we know that if you get exposure more to light early morning, it seems to make a big difference.
Well, does that have to do with seasonal affective disorder? Because in the Northwest, we know about that.
Yes.
We've been talking about that. But is that all tied in, or is that different from depression?
I would say it's a form of depression for some. We know that seasonal affective disorder, sometimes called SAD, particularly this time of year, and women are more prone towards it than men for whatever reason. And we also know that with the seasonal affective disorder, this is a time of year that people tend to gain more weight, and they tend to overspend.
You're shopping and you're spending, spending, and you feel bad about that.
You feel bad, and then you're feeling guilty, and you've overeaten, and you start this kind of vicious cycle.
You know, I'm feeling it right now.
No, we're only talking about your neighbors.
Well, but I mean, really, and then you've got family coming, and you want to, you know, you have expectations about how you want that all to go.
Yes, we do have expectations, yes. And dealing with family members can also add to that, because then there's the comparison of, did I get the right gift, or did I spend enough? So you have all that to factor in.
Now, you have an online survey that folks can take to sort of find out if what is that about?
Well, it's a survey just to do a little bit of self-exam, kind of a checkup from the neck up, so to speak, to find out, do I have many of these symptoms? And then, importantly, do I need to do something about it?
And what can people do about it?
Well, one of the first things that I like to suggest is we need to look at things like sometimes exposure to the full spectrum lighting. We know that can really help. We know that even, it's hard, I know this time of year, but your diet and how you eat does help. You know, people forget to even drink water or drink enough water. Has a big factor in just mood. And the other thing we need to remember is simple walks can make a difference.
All right.
But we stop doing some of those things that can help us.
All right. Now, you have some other things that we're going to talk about tomorrow. And Dr. Jantz is going to be back. We're going to talk about a couple of topics about overspending and money issues, overeating, and how to get along with difficult relatives.
Ooh, there's a good one.
All right. And we've put that survey on our website at comotv.com. You can check it out there, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Welcome back to First News. The holidays are a time of friends and family and fun, or at least they're supposed to be. But a lot of times the stress of the holidays can be pretty overwhelming. And joining me again today is Dr. Greg Jantz, the director for the Center for Counseling and Health Resources. Good to have you here.
Oh, good to be here.
These are such important topics this time of year.
And they're very real topics as well.
Yeah, they are. Well, let's start by talking about money, because I think a lot of people overspend and go way over their budget. Does that trigger depression, and what can you do about that?
Well, it is a tendency, and I think the first thing we do, we may be comparing ourselves and thinking we have to keep up with somebody, but we got to remember that's not what it's all about. And one of the things we need to remember is don't find yourself in a place where you find that you're overspending, because later you're going to regret it. So use the little motto, I don't want to regret doing anything.
What if you already have not followed that motto? I mean, you know, Christmas, I've already way overspent, and I feel terrible about it. What do you do?
Okay. One of the things I'm going to do right now is I'm going to decide, I'm not going to wait till the new year for my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to start now to say, okay, at this point, I'm going to start different self-care. I'm not going to overindulge. I'm going to start with my relationship with food. Okay.
Food,
Okay.
because that is the really tough.
Sure.
I mean, everywhere you turn
Yeah.
this time of year, there's stuff in this. See, look at this. Look at this.
Oh, my.
This is like everywhere.
Yes. Oh, I noticed it at our office, too.
Yeah, and you know,
Yes.
everybody eats.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like everybody loses control.
Oh, I know. And we all have that tendency. We'll save those to later.
Yeah.
No, okay, here's the first thing. Start again, I'm going to go back to the first number of New Year's resolution is to lose weight, right? Usually.
Yeah.
And what I want you to do now is begin it now. Start your goals now. We tend in the holidays to say, oh, I'm going to start later, lose weight later. And I wanted to say, no. Right now, make a decision that you're not going to overindulge, but don't do all or nothing thinking. Sometimes we go, oh, I can't have any, or I'm being good, I'm on my diet, or I'm off a diet. No. Enjoy some, but remember, the key word really is balance. Yeah. And I'd like to suggest that you can do it differently this year.
All right, well, what about all those relatives that are coming to our house and we're cooking, and there's tensions when you have relatives, and what do you do about that?
Okay, very real thing that we must look at is our relatives, or we all have somebody that's a challenging person, and you've already maybe started to dread, oh, they're going to be here. Right. What am I going to do?
Right.
Well, I think first of all is you got to decide, I'm not going to give away my personal power. I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to put on an emotional armor and decide, you know what? I'm above that. And I'm not going to compare, I'm not going to contribute, and I'm not going to decide I'm going to be in conflict. We really got to make that, be proactive ahead of time that says, you know what? That's about them. I don't have to participate. I can be gracious, I can be kind.
Right.
But I don't have to be a part of a conflict.
And make a conscious decision to do that before you go.
Beforehand.
Good advice.
And you can do it.
Okay. Get rid of those cookies. All right, thank you, Doctor. Good to have you here. You can check out the website for the Center for Counseling and Health Resources. Just go to ourscomotv.com and click on Hot Links. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you.